All right, we are entering the Gladiator section now, which is the city section. So we don't have Hit Monkey. We do have Silver Sable. We have Daredevil, Modern, and Punisher. Then I did Blade and Oath. As far as the nose, looks like training orbs are on here. We got some more T4s. So let's go ahead and start this up, see how this ends up going. So this one here is G19 required. I did already take them to G20. Let's see how we end up doing on this. So the Shi'ar Imperial Palace. Okay, Fury got the Shi'ar citizens to safety. You know how much I love alliteration. Fury, what happened here? Not sure if we won or lost. Nimrod managed to shatter the Macran crystal before we took him out. Most of us are still recovering from the blast. Terrain's Gladiator has had enough. Most of us get ready for a hell of a fight. Alright. Let's go ahead and test out the G20s, see how this is going to end up going. Gear tier. There we go. Oh, missed Daredevil. There you are. Alright, so put him on the end. Let's go ahead, put her on the other end. And let's see how this ends up going. So we're going to keep him a fortifier, try to keep him alive a little bit longer. Oh, we got Raider, Striker, Raider. Let's see how this goes. Alright, the Sacred Macran Crystals is destroyed, and you must be held accountable. Can we talk about this? We haven't even tried webbing it back together yet. Alright, let's go into Doom. Can we actually kill him right off the bat? Got the heal block, and he bled out. Okay, cool. Let's go into Morgan. Now we got the taunt on us. Let's special and save that ultimate. And let's save the ult from Oath. Alright, there she goes. Let's go into Phyla here and ult with Daredevil. And that did some pretty good damage. Alright, now we get Dorm out there, so now they have the revive onces. Let's go ahead and ult with Blade. Alright, so not terrible. Alright, yep, this kind of walked over this one a little bit. Okay, now I know, don't joke about the destruction of the Sacred Crystal. Humans long have the Shi'ar been allied with you, but the android threats of Nimrod and Ultron, which cost my people their greatest treasure. They were your responsibility, and now... Lalandra, no! I'm sorry, beloved, but the Earth must be destroyed. That escalated quickly. All right. You found Healing Ice. Was that on Daredevil, I take it? What are the ability? My radar sense is going wild. It's a portal to Earth. If they get it to open, a full-on alien invasion, not if we can help it. Defeat all the enemies before the countdown finishes to win the mission. See, again, this is stuff I want for Battleworld. Let's go ahead and alt. All right, let's go ahead and special. All right. We got the Dark Phoenix out there. All right, special with Silver Sable. And there goes Dark Phoenix and Black Knight. Sweet. All right, that wasn't too bad. Yes, new Daredevil. Did you claim the free claim points for the milestone events? I'll take a look after this. Because I'm like 30 shards away anyways. Alright, so we got training orbs again. A 30 per node, right? Alright, let's go ahead and ult here. Yeah, Sable's being a clutch in this for sure. Let's go into Vol. And let's go ahead and special. We'll save the ultimate from Punisher. Let's ult here into Valkyrie. Alright, now we need to take care of this Minerva before she revives. Alright, let's go ahead and ult with Daredevil. Hey, nice, Luca, that's awesome. Alright, so there's the ult. That just tore right through Zombie Juggernaut. Alright, let's ult into Hela. That should take care of her. And now we just have the lone Greg. All right, and last note for the G19 stuff. Then we got to go look at the G20 stuff and see how that's gonna fare. All right, your portal's down, Empress. If you want to destroy Earth, you need to go through us. Wait, I don't want to do this. It is my duty as ruler of the Shi'ar people. You appointed yourself protectors of this reality, and you have failed. Alright, let's go ahead, start with the ultimate again. And we need to focus on that Kahori before she pops off. Daredevil's tanking that. Alright, let's go ahead and special into her. And there she goes. She just fell over. Let's go ahead and burn the ultimate here. Right, let's go ahead and... Actually, we could have ulted there. There's 2 guys left. Alright, there we go. Lalandra, you cannot do this. Charles, how can you defend Earth, a place that's full of millions who hate you just for who you are? A place that created machines to hunt you. Where people are capable of horrors, it's true, but also such beauty, such love. The people of Earth have potential to change the universe if allowed to flourish. Let me show you. I see now. Enough, forgive me, Empress, but your love for this human has colored your judgment. If you cannot render justice, then you leave me no choice. I declare myself Gladiator, Magister of the Sheer Empire. Oh, heel turn. Yeah, I got all my city done. So we're gonna go through city, the start of global, and then I need to wait for the tech payout and kind of see what I'm taking into that section. Thing's gonna be a little bit though, because I need the mutant to take APOC up. Alright, heroic difficulty now for G20. Alright, so we have tech, training orbs, still no G20s in here. That's not great. Alright, so this one here, we have the Black Order characters. Let's see how this goes. The throne room of the new Shi'ar Magister Gladiator. Gladiator, you're my loyal guard. How could you do this? It was only my duty, the war with Ultimus, the intergalactic threat of doom. Now with these Terran machines have destroyed the Macran crystals, they must pay. If we save the damned galaxy from Ultimus and doom, you can't condemn Earth for that. I've spoken. Fear not, Earthman. You wish to defend your home, so be it. Or shall be judged in the arena trial by combat. Alright, cool, cool. Put you over here. Let's go here. Alright, let's see how this goes. I don't know if they actually said it was going to have G20. I'll have to look. Alright, okay, Gladiator, you don't want to have a fair trial. I know some folks willing to cheat to win. We'll know if we cheated when all our enemies are dead. That is pretty sound logic. Alright, let's start by using the ultimate here. That's going to take those positive effects off. And let's go ahead and special into him. Oh, he fell over dead. He did too. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and special. All right, let's ult here into Starbrand. All right, let's go ahead and basic. And just now waiting for the next wave to drop. There's going to be 6 enemies, so then we can use some ults here. So we have a Darkhold with Doom, or a Dorm. Let's go ahead and special into Morgan. All right, let's ult into Robbie. All right, so we got a striker shot. Let's go into Heartless. We get the striker into him. All right. All right, ult here into Robbie. That should kill him, and he shouldn't come back. Got Wonger's dead. All right, let's go into Morgan. Let's switch over to Heartless real quick. He's about to take his turn. 7.8 million. Oh my god, Punisher. Okay, Punisher. All right, next node. All right, so this one here, Bifrost, we have 2 Black Knights Dorms. Shouldn't be terrible on this one. Daredevil Modern definitely seems clutch for the taunt. It's got the heal. Silver Sable's ult. She's definitely a must. These are your champions, Fury. Monsters and criminals. They're the ones willing to do whatever it takes. True, true. All right, let's go ahead and ult with Sable. Let's go into leader and special. All right, let's go into Vol. That way Vol doesn't bring anybody back. All right, let's special into that Black Knight there. So no trauma for the retaliates. That's great. All right, let's go into Ancient One for the striker shot. Now, if I can time Blade to get the hit into Vol, that should do the permakill into Vol. And let's go into Dorm. And that kind of rebounded a little bit differently. All right, let's go into Vol here and ult. There was one Black Knight. All right, let's go ahead and special here. All right, got that one through. All right, node 3. So we have a Ms. Marvel Classic. We have Nimrod, Omega. Interesting mix. Bunch of Nimrods on here. Osborne, that's who you've bet on to save the entire planet. Remind me not to take you out to Vegas if there's ever going to be a Vegas after this. This is just the opening salvo. Gladiator wouldn't suggest trial by combat if you thought we could win. So they're pawns. Hell yes they are, but they're also crazy enough to do that if we're lucky. They might flip the whole damn board. Sure, Fury, if you say so. I've hunted every beast on Earth. I am overjoyed to take my hunt to the cosmos. All right, let's go ahead and... This does do the heal block, it does the disrupt, and it does the trauma. I think we'll still use this even though we're not taking any buffs off. All right, let's special into Nimrod over here. Let's ult into... There we go. Of course she comes back. Let's ult into her with Blade. Make sure she doesn't come back. And let's ult into Nimrod. Let's go into Omega. Phoenix Force. Omega Red. There we go. That's the word. All right, let's ult into Jean. And special into Medusa. Punisher's a beast, though. Holy crap. All right, let's go into Omega Red. And striker shot. All right, there he goes. Let's ult into Omega Sentinel. All right, there's the permakill on her. So not terrible. I was expecting those pings to hurt Oath a lot more than they did. This is the second difficulty, so it's the first difficulty with G20 on it. So heroic, I think. All right, so 2 more nodes left on this difficulty. We have a Hercules. We need to make sure he doesn't get his abilities off on us. We have Ares, Black Knight, another Black Knight, Kahori, more Ares. Could be interesting. I'll have to take a look, Easy. Alright, this is a waste of time. Your toys cannot defeat the most powerful warriors from across the galaxy. You know what, you cape-wearing simpleton, I'm beginning to believe you. Why don't we introduce you to some of our alien friends? Scream. Alright, let's go ahead and ult here, take those positive effects off. Let's go into this Hercules over here in special. Alright, let's target this Hercules and ult. Those Ares should be jacked up from the Punisher. Ult here, that should kill the Ares. Let's go into this Black Knight and ult. Alright, Kahori's trying to go to town. But that's not good. Alright, let's go ahead and special with Silver Sable. Alright, 8 enemies left. Let's go into Vol. Alright, we have a Punisher special. Let's go into Kahori. Striker shot. Alright, Hercules, hit him. Let's go into the Ares, get the striker shot into him. Alright, rewind. Alright, so that got a little scary with the oath getting jacked up there. Got it. Spending ISO energy to get Shadow King's passive. I'll have to take a look at that, so I need that passive still. Alright, last node on this difficulty. Fury, let me in there. If I'm gonna die, it's not gonna be because Bullcut and Giggles lost a fight. Stand down, that's an order. With my X-Men and Avenger still down for the count, I'm going to need you once Gladiator plays as ace. And maybe you don't play a lot of poker, but you can't beat an ace. It's the highest one. Joker's wild, man. Alright, you provided our forces with a respectable challenge, Terrence, but this trial is at an end. Behold your fate, someone eager for revenge on the protectors of Earth. Oh, I shall savor this. A whole lot of Black Order members again. And we got a Thanos endgame in here, too. Alright, let's ult. Still no G20. Alright, let's special on this side over here. I need to save Punisher or Blade to try to take care of the Thanos endgame. Alright, striker shot. Alright, let's ult here. Alright, let's go into this Icarus and ult because he has the more turn meter. Let's basic. All right, here comes some rewinds. All right, let's special into gore. Special again into gore. There's the ability block and death. That works. Let's special. Rewards are on missions on the website. Okay, I'll check the website after this then. All right, what's wrong, Titan? Do you struggle against adamantium arms? Enough. You tore one of his arms off. We have to call him Dr. Septopt. Smooth. Well, now that your hands are full, why don't you catch? Boom. Thanos is down. We won Gladiator. 1. You will pass this trial when you defeat the Empire's strongest champion. The Earth will be saved only once you defeat me. All right, so I'll do this and then I'll check that command center thing that you guys are talking about, so I can add that at the end of this video. So we have the X-treme right now. So this one here, a lot more crimson gear. We have the training, and the boss fight is a single gladiator. All right, let's go ahead and knock these out. The Shi'ar Arena. Where's your honor, Gladiator? We defeated your assembled cosmic minions. The Earth has earned its freedom. Your world is free when I, the Magister of the Shi'ar Empire, declares it so. Find you what to change the rules of this trial. Good thing I brought my lawyer. He's a very good lawyer. All right, let's move you over here again. Put you here. All right, let's go in. All right, let's go ahead and ult with Silver Sable. All right, let's go ahead and start with Kang over here in special. All right, there goes Kang, there goes Moonstone. Let's burn the ult. Even though they're mainly heroes, I need to try to get through this Nova so we don't get the battlefield effect out there. All right, let's go ahead and ult here. This is also going to hit the Omega Sentinel. There's the permakill on Nova. Let's go ahead and burn that ult. All right, let's do a special. I want to kill these characters so I can use Blade to try to get a permakill into Omega Sentinel. Basic. There we go. All right, now let's go ahead and special. Geez, so much damage on these guys. All right, let's go ahead, take care of the taunter there. Let's ult here. This is going to rewind the Ares and the Omega Red. Let's go into Ares and ult. So now we got the taunt up. Let's target this Ares and ult over here, get the exposed on him. Omega Red's killed off. All right. All out on Kang. Let's basic here. He's going to special. All right. That Nimrod's going to really hurt this Oath. Let's basic into Nimrod. All right, she's good. This is the last hit. So we got down node 1. All right. Let's go into this node. Alright, the Kree have allied themselves with the Shi'ar against your kind, parents. No longer shall we suffer your folly, our legions are endless. Let's see if I brought enough ammo. Alright, let's go ahead, start by doing the ultimate. That's going to get that trauma on Super Scroll and Disrupt, so he's not going to be popping into stealth. Let's do the ult into Thanos Endgame. Got the kill. We didn't end up getting our stuff pushed. That's great. Let's basic here. All right, let's special. All right, basic here. 1 wave down. Zombie Scarlet Witch, 3 zombie juggernauts. Oh my god. All right, let's go ahead and ult here. Let's go into Zombie Scarlet Witch and ult with Daredevil Modern. Special here, that's going to kill the zombie juggernauts. Let's stick on her. All right. Let's go into Vol. I'm always worried about Vol doing like a full revive on everybody, because the NPC version of her brings back the entire battlefield. It's pretty nasty. Let's stick on Gore. Let's finish Gore off. Alright, let's go into Thanos Endgame and ult. That's going to get the exposed on him. And hopefully I can burn him down, just like I did on the last one. Nope, he got his passive off. Let's stick on him, though. Alright, let's basic into this Icarus. Blade's about to get his turn. We can do a nasty rewind on all of these Eternals. Trauma stun, that's not good. All right, let's special here. And yeah, let's special into Thanos here, get him killed off. All right, so now we got to deal with the Eternals doing their ults into us. This barrage is gonna hurt. It's done in Blade now. That is so cheap how many rewinds they just busted into us. Alright, let's go ahead and ult here. Alright, let's ult with Silver Sable. We need to get that one. What abilities is Cersei about to pull off on us? She's fine. Icarus has a special. Nope. Beta Ray. So we're going to go into Beta Ray. He's got the next ability that's about to pop off on us. Oof. Oath is hanging on by a thread. Alright, their Beta Ray Bill goes. Take out the Icarus. Alright, perfect. Well, not perfect, but we got the clear. Woof. Alright, how many stars do you have on your Vigilante? I have 4 on Daredevil and Silver Sable. Looks like no G20 rewards at all the nodes. Somebody's saying to check the command center. I guess there's missions on the website as well. So I'm going to check that after I clear these out and see what we get. All right, so we have 3 more nodes to go. This one here is a Null, Hive Mind, and Anti-Venom. Oh, this is going to suck. All right, hey Hornhead, you want to get to the Punisher to dial it back? I know we're fighting for lives, but he's having a little too much fun. Normally I'm the first one to rein Frank in, but most of these aliens seem to be bulletproof anyways. It's true. All right, I think we got to go all out into Void Knight so he doesn't throw the ability blocks on us, and he's still okay. He's got ability block anyways, due to Silver Sable targeting him. Let's go into Gore and Special. And there's a red goblin back there we need to end up killing. Let's ult into Null with Punisher. Massive damage to enemies. That's great. Now we need to take care of these red goblins. Let's ult into this red goblin for rewind. All right. What do we have? We have an Anti-Venom. Let's go into Carnage and ult. I don't want to give them turn meter. All right, so this one was more intimidating than anything. It definitely helps, I think, to have Punisher for that extra damage versus villains. Alright, more Imperial Guard are entering the arena. This is not over yet. All-powerful alien emperors, cosmic gods. Anytime you want to get those Avengers off the bench would be great, Fury. But we can handle it. After all, Hawkeye's an Avenger. That must be a call-out for Dorky Dad. See, now I'm mostly upset Clint wasn't conscious to experience that burn. And that's a burn to Dorky Dad. Hawkeye's not getting reworked, apparently. Alright, curious. The other humans have extra abilities and senses. You are missing one. I've got more than enough to take you apart. Let's go. Alright, let's go ahead and ult. Get the ability block into Thanos. Or actually went into Ms. Marvel Classic. That's still fine. Let's go into Ancient One. Alright, ult into Thanos Endgame. He's got that defense down. And spray, no passive being pushed there. That's awesome. Alright, let's ult into Quicksilver. Alright, let's ult with Oath into Kahori, get the exposed on her. Alright, Silver Sable special, that should kill these 3. Alright, Gore going. Oh, Daredevil's jacked up. Okay, basic here. Surfer doing it. Oh, that's probably gonna kill Daredevil, isn't it? Alright, let's try this one again. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Try again. So what happened on that wave? I'm actually enjoying the Saga. You spend a lot of 5G20 because I can only bring 2. I spent some money. Sorry. All right, let's go ahead and ult here. I'm gonna slow play this. That's basic into Medusa. Let's ult into Thanos Endgame. Let's ult here into Kahori. Let's ult into Medusa. Let's special into Silver Sable, or Wand over there. All right, let's special here. That's going to get taunt. Okay. They come in with full turn meter. Full turn meter. You guys suck. There goes Daredevil. Thanos ulting. This is the last wave too. All right, so full turn meter spawn, and on that last one, let me check something quick. So the data mine that came out, we're in City X-treme. All right, they come in with 50% turn meter. Okay. So I just really need to slow play this. Yeah, the data mine says it's 50% turn meter. So I just need to get my guys ready for the drop, and they drop when there's one character left, it looks like. Did you enjoy the Nimrod boss? I thought the Nimrod boss is really cool. I want stuff like that in Battle World. Alright, so start with the ultimate here. Special. Ult here. Ult into Kahori. Let's do a special and save the ult. That's basic here. That's special into Kahori. That's basic. There was 2 left. There's supposed to be 1. Alright, so Daredevil's going to be ahead of them. So I got to ult here. I only got a basic available. You're ulting. Hang in there, Daredevil. Surfer ult, that's going to kill him. That one there, they dropped with 2 characters left. It's supposed to be 1 on the previous ones. All right, another tray. I don't even know if I get them to 5 stars, if that would help them survive. Not sure. All right, ult here. All right, let's special into him. All right, let's ult here. There goes Thanos. Let's take her out. All right, this here, flip positive effects to negative. Do that here. Clear negative effects from himself and all allies. Let's do that. It's basic here. It's basic. The oath should be going first for Punisher. Special. Ult into Emma, because Emma's the one that really hurts us. Ability to block and Blade hurts. Thanos is about to ult. That's probably gonna kill Blade. Got close on that one. Am I winning? Can't see. Trying to get through the second to last node. It's pretty rough. I made it close that time slider. I just mistimed a little bit as far as the drop went. All right, let's go ahead and special. Let's ult here. I think I'll special. I'll save the ult. Same, I'll special here, save the ult. I had no buffs to flip there, that's fine. Basic here. It's ult here. That's gonna flip those heal blocks. basic. Special. There's the drop. Blade hopefully gets to go. All right, Punisher special. It's going to Gore. Let's ult here into Thanos. Get the striker shot into him. Basic into Emma. Defense down. Alright, ult here. That should kill Thanos Medusa. There goes... Emma's still alive. Right, basic, basic. Alright, I just need to kill Gore and Surfer. See if I can do it. Basic here. Yeah, I definitely need to manage cooldowns on the drops here. Alright, basic. That's going to do extra damage because of villain for Punisher. Alright. So this one took about 6 tries, I think it was, maybe 7. So they come down with a 50% turn meter there. Yeah, I'm having fun, actually. I think my lack of sight hurt me in this fight, Gore. I've got radioactively enhanced senses and ancient ninja training. But my real secret superpower... Wham! Damn! Ability to spot a glass jaw. I learned it from battling Jack Murdoch. Alright. Now we got the Gladiator boss node. This is going to be interesting. Alright. Hey, little help over here. The big guy in the cape has taken every venom blast I have and not slowing down. Never believed the weakest among you could stand before my royal guard. This was never meant to be a fair contest. That's where you messed up. None of us have ever been in a fair fight. We've got powers, but in a world of multiversal gods, we're underdogs and we never give up. Remember when the Heroes for Hire could beat the Infinity Watch team, guys? Now let's finish this. 3 people finished already? That doesn't surprise me at all. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm expecting the top 100 to fill out probably within a day or two. The fate of the Earth is decided now. In the name of the Shi'ar Empire, Gladiator will see you destroyed. Gladiator gains speed whenever damaged. Once Gladiator has lost half his health, every attack grants him rage. Each instance of rage increases Gladiator's damage and speed. Oh my god. Okay, this will be fun. Alright, let's start by doing the ultimate. That's going to get rid of those positive effects. There's trauma. Which one hurts more? He doesn't have barrier. I might want to say that it's 250 piercing, then 250 piercing. No positive effects. 260, 260, then a striker shot. Let's do this. Ult. That did a huge chunk of damage. Let's get exposed on him. No exposed. Let's special. Alright, special here. Alright, he's at 50%. Now he's going to start getting his rage. Alright, let's ult. Defense down. That's good. Striker shots. Gladiator with no... No, he's got eyebrows. They're just devil eyebrows. All right, it's at 31% health. Oath is about to get ripped, though. That's special. That should heal her. And Oath just bit his neck or something. All right, striker shot. There we go. Bullets ain't doing it. How about this? See, that's why you bring Punisher. A brick? That's what you throw at me? Guess you don't know C4 in your world. Boom. Arg, no, I will not be defeated. You ready, Arg Gladiator? The earth is free. I can't believe I came all this way and still you just won't die. That's not Gladiator's voice. Get out of my head. Apedia was particularly fun in there. Hey, Shadow King controlled him. That was cool.